Hey, what's going on to each and every one of you? How's everybody doing today? Well, okay, so yesterday I was on here and I was talking to you about some things that are transpiring here in Washington. So I want you to check this out here. We're going to talk about people perpetrating as police officers, people perpetrating as ICE officers, and we're going to get into what ICE is actually doing illegally when it comes to Washington State. So hold on, let's get you in here. Let's first get this started right here. All right. All right. And all right, here we go. Let's rock and roll. All right, so here we so our first thing is we will be addressing this one right here first. I want you to know this is what ICE is doing up here. This is why my thing was when I talked to everybody about uh, what's going on. A person can pull up in an unmarked car, have their face covered, and just throw you in a vehicle and whisk you away to wherever, right? So, how does people know that this is actually going to work in the good way? I'm going to show you why this should not be trusted. That somebody can just pull up without no identification, no reason, no rhyme, reason, or why they are taking you into their custody, and you don't know. How do you know? Listen, check this out. No, we got that one. Check this out.
Camera footage of a convicted felon arrested for allegedly impersonating an Edmonds police officer.
Now you see what I'm talking about. This gentleman here, does he look like a cop? Does he look like he's law enforcement? I'm gonna tell you, he had law enforcement for a while. Check it out.
According to court documents, he's wearing a silver badge with the words Detective, Edmonds Police, and a badge number. At first, the officer interacting with him believes he's a real officer. Then they quickly realize something seems off.
Oh God. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. If this person was to pull up next to you dressed like this, you pull up next to you dressed like this, would you think that's a real police officer? Yes, anybody would. Look at the car.
Edmonds Police and a badge number. At first, the officer interacting with him believes he's a real officer. Then they quickly realize something seems off. As Michael Scaletta Teets awaits trial later this year, Fox 13 News reporter Neil Wong shows us the moment he was arrested by Bremerton Police.
This is my first day back in a while.
Now, mind you, this guy is not a police officer. He's perpetrating. This is over in Bremerton, Kitsap County. So this is why I say, how do you know who's who? You know, if somebody's just pulling up on you, throwing you in a vehicle and whisking you off to where? How do you know this? Check it out.
You're watching body cam footage of a man from September 5th who looks like a cop.
Now with the games intelligence.
It's pretty hardcore.
Kind of sounds like a cop.
You work for Edmonds PD?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a part-time gig.
But prosecutors say he isn't a cop. He's Michael Scaletta Teets, a convicted felon.
A convicted felon. He shouldn't even have a firearm. But here we go.
With a real cop outside the Salvation Army in Bremerton. You can see him here getting grilled by Bremerton police officers. They're trying to understand why an Edmonds detective was in uniform outside the Salvation Army in Bremerton.
Is it a loaded firearm that you have with you, Mr. Scaletta?
According to court documents, the 49-year-old caught the eye of Bremerton officers when his Ford Explorer flashed blue interior deck lights.
Now, this is what trips me out. This guy's a felon, and he went all the way out for this. I mean, he's got some serious issues going on.
Despite claiming to be an off-duty detective and carrying body armor, as well as a police badge and a firearm, Bremerton police arrested Scaletta Teets, whose criminal history includes being found guilty for a bomb hoax in North Carolina back in 2016.
Oh, wow.
I never shook nobody down.
Fast forward to 2025, Scaletta Teets now faces charges for criminal impersonation in the first degree and unlawful possession of a firearm in the second degree. He pleaded not guilty in court and has a trial date scheduled for November.
All right, so see, this is what I'm talking about. Now, how do you know? How did anybody know that this guy is not a cop? It took the police time to figure it out. Now, this is just the first incident I have going here. Now, we talk about ICE, and what they're doing. Now, how do you know this? Check this out. Here we go. Watch this one here.
A man is accused of impersonating an ICE officer. Police in Fife, just north of Tacoma, say The 26-year-old drove a fake Immigrations and Customs Enforcement SUV outside a Ukrainian grocery store back in March.
And his intentions were to do what? Intimidate, put the fear in people. If they, and this really so wild because you don't even have to have an issue going on and you're still scared because what? ICE has been known to pick people up, no due process, take them to whatever's facility and have them there without seeing their attorneys, without any legal due process. And then they come to find out, oh, you're the wrong person. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. See, so look, you're going to pull up here and you're going to have your, you don't have to have a warrant. You don't have to have nothing to say that this is the reason why you are pulling this person over or why you are apprehending this person. So one thing is being legally detained and the other is being legally arrested. So, my thing was, okay, well, if they want to play like this, then maybe we should call the police. Now, let's finish this one here.
Suspect allegedly parked the SUV outside the grocery store. Witnesses reported the person or people inside the car were recording employees and customers, and many of them were rattled.
And so you can't deny that this vehicle showing up at a Ukrainian grocery store where you have customers and employees who have family members that they're worried about in a war-torn area, that it is very concerning.
Now, you see what I'm saying? So how do you know who's who, right? But then you're going to get a detained, arrested, no due process. Now, look, I'm for people doing their job. But if you're doing your job illegally, what makes you better than any other citizen out here doing anything illegally?
26-year-old Ilya Kukyar faces a gross misdemeanor charge of impersonating law enforcement and has been summoned to appear in court. Right now, there's no indication of why he did all.
Well, I can only speculate he's doing all that because he's trying to intimidate, trying to fill his ego, trying to be like, I'm above you. I'm going to make fear put into you. What is this about? I mean, you got these fake people rolling up on you and they don't have no warrant, nothing that verifies you are the person that they're looking for. And they just whisk you off to what unknown location, right? Which is bullshit. All right. Now I'm going to show you, because you know what? I said this. Well, if ICE is rolling up on somebody who I know, I'm going to be like, hold up, 911. ICE is over here. I don't know. Forget ICE. There are some people over here who are not identified, won't show their face, will not show a warrant, will not say anything. They are throwing somebody in the car, which is kidnapping. If it's against your own will, if they move you within a certain footage against your will, it is called kidnapping. But they're not being brung for this. And I'm going to show you how they actually are trying to get around this. Check this out here. This. When I say, why don't we call them? Check out what they're doing.
5 investigators expose state agencies providing ICE and other Homeland Security departments with access to private driver's license and vehicle information in Washington. Thanks for joining us at 6:30. I'm Joyce Taylor.
I'm Greg Copeland.
Now, mind you, that's illegal.
He's using that search tool to track down undocumented residents. That is against the law. Here's Kristen Goodwillie.
They're taking a lot of people that have no criminal records.
Jose, who lives in South King County and works in the restaurant industry, has been undocumented for almost 20 years.
Oh boy.
He's not showing his face because he's terrified by the ICE raids we've all seen.
This is how they break in your car.
He wonders if Washington really is a sanctuary state where local agencies aren't supposed to help the federal government deport people.
Now, I want you to understand this. This was actually brought to the attention of Washington State, the last Trump nomination when he was in the White House. This was brought against the Washington State Department of Motor Vehicles, and they were actually giving out all this information to federal law enforcement, which is against the law. All right. So, I mean, look, do your job, but do not go against the law. Breaking the law, what did it say? 2 wrongs don't make a right. So if you're going to break the law, and you're going to go through Washington State data boards and look at DMV records to see who you can snatch up at what time. Oh, I got one more for you after this here. Let's let this one roll.
Pretty sure that there's a lot of agencies.
Now this
that
guy, he
works
gonna
with
go to
them.
jail.
He's right. Despite being a sanctuary state, the King 5 investigators found the Department of Licensing, where you get a driver's license or register your car, is sharing private information with Homeland Security, ICE, and Border.
Which is against the law.
Is it concerning to you?
It's against the law.
Is I think not only for me but the whole community.
Protests erupted across Western Washington in 2018.
I'm gonna get a little ahead here.
Reopened some of them.
Listen,
2018.
watch this.
During the first Trump administration.
Look at this.
After legislators came down on the Department of Licensing, or DOL, for violating a state executive order that put undocumented immigrants at risk.
Protect our privacy rights.
DOL was giving the feds access to personal data used to arrest and deport people. State records show after that, DOL canceled many of those agreements or accounts.
Now, see, my thing is this. If your state demands for you to be a law-abiding citizen, how is Washington State allowing this to happen, giving all this information abroad? I mean, no, come on now. That's bullshit.
But a King 5 investigation has found sometime later in 2018, DOL quietly reopened some of them. State records show accounts with ICE, Border Patrol, and 3 other Homeland Security departments are back open, and business is brisk.
Look at
Since
this.
Trump's
Check out
election in
this number.
November, the Fed's use of them skyrocketed 188%. Looking just at ICE's account, in November 2024, agents searched for driver and vehicle records about 500 times. This May, that number tripled to more than 1,600 searches.
They should.
Okay, so we're searching the Washington State Driver's License Data Board. And I'll tell you this, I'm an ex-officer, one of the most ways that you catch a person is through traffic stops. All right. And you can get a hold, that's where stuff escalates from there, as far as an arrest. But this is how much they're going through this. And I got another one to play for you here real quick too. Let's finish this one.
They should stop because it's all about trust.
The Department of Licensing declined our request for an on-camera interview.
Okay, hold on. Do you guys remember this? Do you remember this when they said, when the federal government says, now you have to have an enhanced driver's license? You remember that? You have to go and have an enhanced driver's license to order to get on a plane, anywhere to go abroad. Okay. Now, if you remember that, I said this before they popped off. This right here is a way for them to ramp down and put a bigger net to catch people. And when they went for the enhanced driver's license, the feds had to know this. Let's go and look at who put this enhanced driver's license to travel where. And then they started beating in on people for enhanced driver's license and where do you fit into this page or not. And I'm going to tell you another thing that kind of pisses me off, which is straight crazy. I know people in the United States of America here, and some of them have more than 2 or 3 DUIs, and they're United States citizen. But then you get an immigrant who's been here legally and only has a speeding ticket back when they were in their teens. And then you're going to call yourself arresting them and send them abroad. I still call bullshit on that. Here we go.
But in emails, they insist they're following state and federal laws. They said an increase could be due to significant variability in monthly searches and because of Trump. Right. That the data crosses 2 presidential administrations with 2 different immigration ideologies. And remember, it is firmly in state policy that DOL's information is not to be used for immigration purposes.
Oh boy, I'm gonna show you.
As ICE is ramping up their
as we know, it's not supposed to go against our laws here. This is still going on, and I believe it's still happening today. I'm gonna show you this
actions
clip
in our state. The last thing we want is for them to be able to search a treasure trove of information about home addresses.
Jenny Pasquarella is the legal director of the Clemency Project, a nonprofit that represents undocumented immigrants.
So here we go. Let me get this out.
Reached out to more than a dozen immigration experts who say they had no idea DOL was working with the federal government again.
It is critical.
And he said again, because if this was actually done in the first term of Trump when he went in. Washington State DMV supervisor got chin check for this, and he got chin check. He resigned that last time. Now this is going on again. Now look, I don't care if you're for Trump or against Trump. The thing is, this is against the law. Okay.
Ensure that that information is walled off so that people don't fear accessing it.
I asked DOL if they were concerned about the increase in the feds looking up their data. In an email, they said anyone using their database must promise they're not using it to deport people. Immigration.
They must promise. Do you do your Boy Scout hand salute too? I do this. We below. I promise I won't do anything illegal like going through your database, and that's supposed to do it, right? Seriously.
Enforcement can search their database for.
It's critical that we ensure
promise.
that
Listen
that
to
information is walled off so that people don't fear accessing it.
I asked DOL if they were concerned about the increase in the feds looking up their data. In an email, they said anyone using their database must promise they're not using it to deport people.
Must promise.
Immigration enforcement can search their database for
Hey,
a person,
how you
license
doing,
plate,
baby?
address, or vehicle
come in.
only if they agree to use.
I'm getting talking about what's going on here in Washington State. We've had a few fake police officers, fake ICE officers up here, and also against the law, which has happened again and happened earlier in Trump's presidency, but it's happening again here, is that ICE is illegally using DMV information from the Washington State in order to obtain what they call illegal aliens or illegal immigrants. This is what they're doing. They are actually going through the database. This is not the only way they're taking it. Let's go. I'm gonna
Use the info for purposes that are legal in Washington. For instance, investigating a crime like human trafficking or drug smuggling.
Bro, look what's happening, bro.
While the federal government considers being undocumented a crime, Washington doesn't. Advocates worry the surge in searches is being used for deportations.
If it's criminal activity, then they should be able to do it through the warrant process.
State Senator Rebecca.
Listen to that. What is the process of doing this? There's been people pulled over by the ICE people, and other citizens go, well, where is your warrant? How do you know? Is this the right person? They snatch them up, whisk them away, and then you have to figure out after your life has been turned over and traumatized, after your kids come home from school and find that mom or dad's not home because of this right here. Okay, here we go.
Saldana is one of the sponsors of a 2018 law, the Keep Washington Working Act. It cemented into law that state agencies are not to cooperate with federal programs that target residents on the basis of immigration or citizenship.
That's legal paperwork. You don't have to like it, but it's legal paperwork. This is legal. And like I say, two wrongs don't make a right. For somebody to come up and snatch you off the street, they're given any due process. Yeah, you're right. They're not given any due process. You're traumatizing the family. And I tell you, here in Washington, if you guys came on Little Lake, go check it out early. I'm showing you fake ICE office, a fake ICE USB, a fake officer truck, ICE officer truck being there, perpetrating. We had an officer up here, the guy who was a felon, convicted felon, and he's rolling around with a truck, SUV, all the whole gear. We'll hit that up again, but look here. And so this is the thing. And if we're not aware of this or cognizant of this, this is going to keep marching on. So, come on. I got to show you this other
against the intent. Those accounts do seem to be against the spirit of Keep Washington Working.
There's always a concern that we're not sure if we're gonna come back.
Jose did recently get his green card, but says that's no guarantee he can stay. He's calling on lawmakers to stop what he sees as a betrayal of Washington's sanctuary promise.
They're breaking families. They're tearing families apart.
Our investigation is already getting attention in Olympia. Senator Saldana told us she plans on asking the Attorney General's office to investigate.
All right, so now I want to show you this one here. Now, this one here, remember I was saying this. I was like, if I'm with you and somebody comes over and just snatches you up, they don't have no arrest warrant. They don't have nothing. They got their face covered in an unmarked vehicle and throw you in a vehicle My first thing is I got to call the police. Somebody just kidnapped my friend. We got to call the police. Check out what ICE did.
Back to Broadview now, where village officials sent a strong message to the feds this week. They do not want ICE operating its detention center in their town.
Now the Broadview police chief says ICE agents are draining the resources of his department and the community by making false 911 calls. And what you are about to see is...
You dig? A false 911 call. A false 911 call, right? Here we go. Watch what happened.
Investigates.
Yeah. You are watching as Broadview police respond to a 911 call, claiming someone was tampering with a gate at the ICE detention facility there. Body camera footage obtained by the CBS News Chicago investigators shows several Broadview police officers respond to an alleged Homeland Security threat.
Watch why
the gate in question is where ICE takes detained immigrants for processing.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
How are you?
Check this
out. We got a call of subjects trying to climb over the fence or something.
No, not since we've been here.
But when police arrive, all they find is two people and a
You see this? Watch this.
camera.
Watch this.
Our CBS photographer filming the exterior of the building with a CBS security guard by his side.
Okay, and you guys didn't tamper with any of the...
No, man. The 911 call claiming someone was tampering with the gate came from an ICE agent.
You dig that? You dig that? You hear that? It came from an ICE agent.
According to this incident report, an ICE agent called police for help.
But he can't go and try to force his way into that door.
Okay, so the guy in the
He
booth.
just says
No,
that
the
he
guy
was
in
just
the
recording.
camera.
Do you believe that that was a false call?
I do.
Yep.
Again, it was just our CBS photographer filming the exterior of the building.
Now you see what's going on, the tactics that are being used, right? Oh, I got another one. I got to find it for you too, though, because it's just not the only
In your
one.
mind, bogus.
Yes. It's disturbing. It's ridiculous.
Broadview Police Chief Thomas Mills says this is just one of several questionable 911 calls his police department has received from ICE at this facility recently. Listen as responding officers also question the validity of the 911 call.
It sure doesn't look like anybody's forcing anything in any fence over here.
Did you see this?
The deployment of tear gas, pepper spray, mace, and rubber bullets by ICE near the processing center in the village of Broadview is creating a dangerous situation for the community.
This same detention center has become the site of at least 3 other incidents involving federal agents who are accused of hitting people with cars, shooting projectiles, and using chemical agents on journalists, including a CBS reporter last Sunday.
I immediately felt it burning. I started throwing up, was able to drive a little bit, and then I had to park.
Asal Razai, our reporter, driving her car with a window open and to be struck like that? What do you feel about that?
It's horrific.
He's demanding ICE turn over the names of all federal officers involved in each incident and says he's ready to take ICE to court.
Are we going to look at maybe reaching out to Cook County State's for subpoenas?
As easy as that. The chief also says he's now reviewing all 911 calls made from the facility.
It's actually a violation of law. It's disorderly. It would be classified as disorderly conduct, filing a false official report.
If you and I were to do
The
that,
chief says the Department of Homeland Security tells him they will cooperate with his criminal investigations, but he said they wouldn't say to what extent. In the newsroom.
if you and I were to do any of that, call a fake police call, what we call it, swatting back in the day, you start to now be brung up on some serious charges for that. As people were doing this to political opponents, whether they were in a Democrat, most of the Democrat was getting swatted, and then you had some probably in the Republican that were getting swatted as well, and that's sending them out this false information. Now, it was another video I wanted you guys to see, but I can't seem to find it, of course. But I wanted to tell you this because what they're doing, like we talked about when I was talking to you about, was how they're using the DMV in order to get a hold of people's records. There is another one here that if you have federal cameras or cameras that are in your, if you have cameras that are in your city or in your particular city that you live in, and they use these cameras for kind of ramping down on violence in certain areas, ICE has tapped into these cameras and we're able to utilize these cameras, and they have it. I think the city that I brought you in Auburn, they had the No Kings Day March. They also have this where they have the cameras that are being hacked in by the ICE agencies with this. So that is another violation of the state law that predict that they're not supposed to be tapping in these cameras. That was one of the things that people said in Seattle that they were mainly concerned about. Are these cameras going to be used for other usage? Now, some of the cameras that were put here in Washington, Aurora, because Aurora was having prostitution and pimp rivalry fights, which I don't get no more, because if you're trying to be a pimp, you know, trafficking can get you a long time in jail. So I think that's an occupation that was back in the 70s or maybe 60s. Well, people are still being pimped by the government. So it's not to the point where they got you on the street. So they were putting up cameras on these streets over in Aurora Avenue going, was it northbound? Because there was a lot of shooting started happening. These cats are coming in there shooting because they're trying to fight for their hoes on that street. So they started putting cameras out there, and people were concerned. They really they call this a soda and a soap. The soda is stay out of drug area, all right, and then they got soap and stay out of prostitution area. Now this is a tool that is actually, I think, is more used for gentrification of an area, because if you are, you know, very low income, you're going to run into some people doing drugs or selling drugs somewhere. I'm not saying everywhere, but I have run into people who live in a drug area, don't do drugs, don't even mess around, but they had a case. And then when they got a case, it says stay out of drug area. Well, how do you go home? Right. So that was another issue here. I'm trying to find, I want to find this clip for you. Well, while we're waiting for that, it was another one that I wanted to express to you veterans out there. This was a video that popped up about a female who's 100% Navy veteran. And I want you to listen to what happened to her as a veteran. This was put out, I mean, just very briefly. This has happened maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But check it out and tell me what you think, you veterans.
A local veteran's disability check because she was working a full-time job. But she says she's never even heard of the town where the job was and never worked there. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray has reported on the same problem happening with other veterans. This evening, he is live in Duluth.
Yeah, Linda, this is the office where they say she was working, but she lives down in Warner Robins. We put her address in the GPS. It's a 2 hour right now. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes a bit ago. 2 hour journey just one way.
All right, so listen, you're getting on to this. She was accused of working an extra job and getting 6 figures. The job is actually 2 hours away from her house. Check it out.
And the company, they even sent this letter to the VA saying this woman never worked there.
I've already lost a vehicle.
This is her.
Monthly Department of Veterans Affairs benefit checks cut in half from $4,000 to $1,900. Georgia Navy veteran Yasmina Covington says she can't keep up with the bills.
Now I got to decide, am I going to buy groceries this month, or I'm going to keep the water and the lights on? Like, it's a constant battle.
The VA cut this formerly 100% disabled veterans benefits because government records show she earned $57,947 in 2023 at a packaging company called Westrock in Duluth, 117 miles from her Warner Robins home.
I've never been to Duluth. I've never met anybody from Duluth.
Covington even got the Human Resources Department of Westrock to send the VA this letter confirming she was not an employee. Channel 2 Action News investigates reported on the same thing happening this spring to.
Now, see, this is why I want each and every one of you veterans, regardless if you've been on 100% for a long time at all. I believe this glitch was intentional. That's my belief. That this glitch was intentional, and it can happen to any other veteran. I may be next because I'm talking about ICE on here, but I'm talking about the law I'm not talking about negative. I'm telling you what I perceive as negative for what ICE is doing. And we're talking about the law, which is illegal for them to actually go through the Washington State database, DMV, and start getting this information. Also, they're tapping into cameras prior to them getting to your neighborhood. Understand this. ICE does not move without a proper tactic of moving. So they're going to have a tactic to whether they can move and minimize these run-ins, because now you're hearing that Portland, they are still trying to say, we do not need ICE here, or we do not need the National Guard here, because this is not a violent place. And this is what I'm recommending for all my Seattleites and Washingtonians, wherever these people come. We show up in good faith. We show up, and we don't show up with violence. At this particular point in our life, especially in the United States, we don't need to go there. We need to check. We need to check lawlessness with the law. We need to check what is going on with what should be going on. So this is this young lady, and I'm gonna let them finish her story here. She got her 100% chopped in half because they allegedly said that she worked at somewhere else and was making this money, and she never was making this money, and she never worked there. But the uncomfort and the discomfort that it caused her to lose her car, stress where your groceries going to come from. I would say this. Okay, let me let this roll over.
Other veterans.
It's hard to hold back tears, man. It's hard to hold back.
The VA told Roosevelt Smith his benefits were being cut for working at a diner he'd never heard of.
He said I didn't report my earnings. I'm like, I didn't generate any earnings.
Virginia Franklin was told she made 6 figures last year, but she hasn't worked since 2004.
And they cut her
Both
benefits.
Smith and Franklin had their benefits restored after Channel 2 Action News got involved. Yasmina Covington has appealed the benefits cut, but so far gotten nowhere with getting this resolved.
I know I did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And others haven't done anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of us are potentially at risk of losing the little bit that we do have, and it's not fair.
Yeah, so my question
I did
is,
reach out to the Department of Veterans Affairs. A spokesman tells me because of the shutdown, there's not anything they can do today. They said as soon as the shutdown is over, they're going to have the benefits department do an investigation into this case. And again, the 2 previous veterans that we interviewed about this after we got involved did get their money back. We're going to continue to follow this. We're live in Gwinnett County. Justin Gray, Channel 2 Action.
all right, so that's one veteran who was claimed, well, 2 veterans who were claimed that they were working somewhere else and weren't working at a particular place, and they cut their disability check pretty much in half. So I'm if this was to happen to me or somebody, my first thing is this. If you are in the HUD-VASH program, where you're a Section 8 veteran seeking HUD-VASH, get a hold of your county housing person first thing and do that quickly. County and housing should be aware of this. They have programs that can help you get through these situations. If you're not with county housing, geez, I'm trying to figure it out too. And what I'm going to do is keep digging so we make sure this doesn't happen to any of our veterans, especially 100% veterans. And the thing is also, we want to talk about back pay. Now, you hear what they said, that this administration has, since they are on this hiatus, well, I'm gonna call it a hiatus, being nice, since they shut down the government because this ego stuff that's going on, now they cannot process her stuff fast enough. Now they're gonna make sure she gets her paycheck, but they should be paying her back pay for what they ousted her of. Okay, so be aware of that. And if this happens to anybody that you know or you, please hit me up, because we're going to talk about this, and we're going to try to get ahead of the game. Even though, you got law enforcement, that's their job to stay ahead of the game. But when you have law enforcement working against you, that's a different problem that you have to deal with. When you have the VA taking benefits from you that you have already earned and that you've been getting for years, and now they're cutting your court because they say you're working. This is another thing too. When you are 100% veteran, look at that total unemployment. Was it permanent disability, TPIU, or I think it is what it is. I haven't did this in a while, but if you're looking at that, some of those will tell you that you can't work. People like to leave the option open of can work, and even if you are making money, I don't see how they can take this money from you. You should be able to get your disability and make your money, because some people, well, it depends probably on this particular young lady, but I still don't believe it that they did this to this veteran here. So I wanted to give that to you guys there, and I want you to understand when I say, how come we have to be vigilant? It's because of things like this here. Get up here, like this here.
When his Ford Explorer flashed blue interior deck lights, despite claiming to be an off-duty detective and carrying body armor, as well as a police badge and a firearm. Bremerton police arrested Skeletted Teats, whose criminal history includes being found guilty for a bomb hoax in North Carolina back in 2016.
So things like this here. Hold on. Who is this? I don't know. Hello?
Hello. This is the medical center's automated appointment reminder system. We are calling to remind you of an appointment at the VA medical.
Yeah, that's my VA calling me. Let me see. Let me answer this real quick. I got an appointment. Yeah, so this is why I say keeping track of your appointments too. Here we go.
To repeat the appointment information, press 4.
There we
To hear these choices again, press 9.
I think one's good.
Appointment confirmed.
All right. We got appointment confirmed. All right. So like I said, you got this officer here perpetrating, and now you have this right here perpetrating. And how do you know? You know, these guys are showing up. How do you know that this person, you know, this when you see this photo, do you automatically say ICE when you see this photo? Right? So if I see the photo and this guy's cruising through the parking lot.
A man is accused of impersonating an ICE officer. Police in Fife, just north.
Impersonating an ICE officer. So how do you know where you're going to be? How do you know what's going to go down? And I do believe this was some point of intimidation tactic. So that's what that was. Let me see here. I'm still trying to get to. Let me see.
Law, but how do we know if they are or not using this information to try to find people and deport them?
It is pretty much the honor system. So ICE, the Department of Homeland Security, does get audited, but by themselves. So they're regulating themselves. But the Department of Licensing has told me over and
isn't it the fox watching the chicken coop? I regulate ourselves, right?
And over again, that if the feds are misusing this data, that they will immediately cancel these agreements.
You're right, Vanessa.
More stories to come, right?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So not only are they doing that, I found a video where they are using your surveillance cameras around your cities. If your cities recently put up some surveillance cameras, you know, like I say over here, they have a little bit of issues on, you know, I think every city, like I say, has an issue. So over here, where we have our little issues, the thing is, and like I say, how do you know that this person is real? How do you know that
Tacoma,
that this person here? How do you know that this is not an ICE vehicle? How do you know this is not somebody actually serving as an ICE officer? You don't know. So be very cognizant of that. All right, family. I really want to get on it because I talked about this yesterday. And I wanted to get on and kind of give you some more meat behind that of what's really going on with this. For the life of me, I can't find what do they do with our cameras out here? What they dug into our cameras. I had the video, but I'm so sorry. Okay, once again, I am here. I am changing my name now. Pretty soon, I will be changing this whole platform to. Let's see if I can get it up here. Go one more time. All right, so we will be moving in as the Caldwell Corner. I will be bringing you more stuff. As far as when I say coming from the, you see me as a Seattle Black veteran, but I will be tapping in on that some a little bit, but not more. And I'll be tapping on some other subjects that I like to inculcate into my program. Reason why I don't do this on the Seattle Black Veterans page is because I like it to remain strictly under the veterans banner where we're helping out veterans. We just showed this video here where I'm still doing veterans help for you. So we will be addressing some veteran situations as well. What's going on. All my love and heart goes out to my National Guards. I'm sorry you were put in the middle of all this bullshit. But we will show you love and respect if you come up here to Washington State. At least what I plan on doing. All right. Okay, kids, I love each and every one of y'all. I only spent 40 minutes on this bad boy today. I'll be picking up more time because I will be having more stuff that we need to discuss. All right. I hope everyone's doing wonderful. I wish you nothing but the utmost best. Seattle Black Veteran, David Caldwell here from the Caldwell Corner. I love each and every one of you very much. And I wish you nothing but the best of days. All right. Take great care.